Saturday at Tucumcari at 5 p.m. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be there, Ed. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh yeah, Coach, long time. We've known each other a long, long time. Back in the day when I spent a couple of years at Eastern New Mexico, you're one of the great friends I made there. I wasn't there for a long time, and for a variety of reasons, it wasn't probably the best experience for me. But we've always had great memories of you, the late Manuel Sandoval, who was my roommate and passed away from an aneurysm in 2007 at a very young age. Mike Sandoval, Ernie Sandoval, Joe Condoletti. I made some good friends down there, and you're definitely one of them. 40 years at Tucumcari, you've coached there, and I went over your resume. Teacher of the Year in 2003 and 2004, assistant coach girls for the North South in '96, 2000 state runner-up in football, 2000 state champs in football. You coach baseball, football, and now 22 years with the boys basketball team. You've coached all three sports. You played all three sports as a former Tucumcari High School star back in the day and played for Eastern New Mexico. An unbelievable service to Tucumcari. Unbelievable. I've told you that before. You also teach PE there, and that's your home base there. Before we get into we're going to get into the Rattlers a little bit. Tell us a little bit about the Rattlers this season. You mentioned you've already played Texaco, number one Texaco, and you mentioned Logan. You're 5-4 right now. Talk to us a little bit about the Rattlers this season.
Well, we have a young group. The one thing, we don't have much size, but these guys play hard and they're fun to watch. I tell you what, when our goal is to just try to make sure we match the intensity of our opponents or above, or get more than what they give, but that's the only chance we have. We have to do the little things. We have to box out and do the little things, because I'm trying to sell to the kids that teams don't beat you on the first shots. It's when they're shooting 2 or 3 or 4 to your one shots, and the percentages lie with the other team.
The blocking out and the boxing out. I've watched a lot of ball. I do a lot of broadcasting, and I coached and I played and I officiated. And I think I saw a kid at Western block out a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, man, we don't see a lot of that anymore. You've seen the game change a lot. You and I talk about it a whole bunch. And, I saw this the other day that someone said in the NBA, everybody's running to the three-point line now and mid-range game, which back in the day, John Havlicek, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Walt Frazier, they all had mid-range games, all of them. And then when the three-point shot came along, it's good too, because it's exciting and, can bring you back. Talk a little bit about what the evolution of the game that you've seen, and you've been there 22 years and you've coached all three sports over there, man. You played all three. Talk a little bit about the evolution of the game, and some of it's good, and some of it you and I shake our heads at. Oh my God! Talk to us a little bit about what you've seen with the game.
Well, the game has changed a lot with the 3-point shot. When I was in school, we didn't have that 3-point shot, but if you're on, I tell you what, and I've had teams where we shot the three a lot, and when we're on, it's a great night. And when you're off, it can be a tough night. So you have to do the little things, to do lot of little things. And a lot of kids don't like the medium range shots. It's either behind the arc or a layup at the baskets. They don't shoot that medium range shot. And I think a lot of kids have forgotten that. And a lot of times when they're warming up, the first place they go is behind the line. Instead of warming up and working out to it, that's their first shot behind the line. So we're trying to change some of the stuff with us. We do a little shooting drills there where you're right up on the basket, and as you make so many, then you take a step back and just kind of work there to try to improve the shooting.
It's kind of funny because it's exciting. You see Steph Curry do that, and he's amazing. You see a lot of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander from OKC, Brunson from the Knicks. You see that Anthony Edwards from Minnesota, and it's exciting. But the kids emulate a lot of what they see. I wanted to ask you this. You sat out last year, I believe, right? You sat out last year as coach, and we wanted to talk about that because of your commitment. 40 years to Tucumcari, man. Going to Eastern New Mexico, and then went back to your hometown. And man, look what you've done. 2011, 2016 state runner-ups. I remember when I saw you in the pit, when your team was a runner-up, I saw your team gathered around you in 2016. I remember that. And, you've given so much back to Tucumcari, but you were out last year. And, we wanted to talk a little bit about that. And you came back, man, and God is good, as you always say. Your family, pulled you through this. But do you want to tell everybody what you were out. It's a kind of a personal thing, but you mentioned that you wanted to let people know, and you're back.
Yeah, yeah, I went through definitely a life-changing situation, something that I would have never thought I would ever have gone through. I always took care of myself. I go to the gym, I exercise and do this and do that. But I had something going on, and I knew I had something going on. I had the hiccups. I couldn't get rid of the hiccups. I had jaundice. Uh, probably should, like I said, probably should have went to the doctor 3 weeks before. But I'm one of those guys that I'm gonna be all right. I know my body, and I'm saying I'm gonna be all right. And finally, my wife and my daughter got me to go to the doctor. But when I went to the doctor, they sent me to get a CT scan. And when a CT scan came back, they told me I had a mass over my liver. And so they scheduled me to go to Amarillo. I went to Amarillo. They ran a scope down my throat. And we're waiting for them. And my wife and I are waiting in the room for them to come back and give me the results of it. And you're waiting in the room, and the last thing you want to hear somebody walk in the room and tell you you have cancer. And so they told me I had cancer. And the guy that told me he had cancer, he had worked with a doctor that specialized in doing surgery with this kind of deal that I had going on. And he told me, he says, if I had a family member, I would recommend this doctor. And so he must have talked to the doctor. The doctor talked to me. And so we set up everything. We did a video chat, and he was in Dallas and we were here. And so we set up everything. And I tell you what, I lost a lot of weight, and I lost it fast. But I wouldn't eat. I couldn't stand the taste of food, smell of food. I got down. I was at about 195. I got down to 130, and I lost it fast. And so I was supposed to have the first surgery done in March. When they went inside in Dallas, they saw another spot. And so they had to check that spot, because if it was cancer, they weren't going to be able to do anything. So it wasn't cancer. So then they scheduled for me to do the surgery in May. In May, I wasn't strong enough to do the surgery. So we scheduled for August the 15th. Well, August the 15th is when I had it done, of 2023. And so all surgery is done, but I went through some stuff. When I came out of surgery, I had 4 bags. I had 2 on each side from the drainage and stuff, from everything that I went through. Uh, it was definitely life changing. And like I said, it was something that I never thought I would ever go through. I couldn't go to the restroom for myself. I couldn't even get out of the bed to do that. My wife was right there. I mean, she helped me do whatever I needed to, and she was a blessing. What kind of got me through, though, on January 22nd was when I found out I had cancer. My youngest daughter had her first baby that evening. And so that gave me a little extra drive too. I have grandkids, but I mean, for going from receiving that message and then the baby being born later on in the evening, went go from a low to a high. And that's been the drive to help me to keep going. And so, and God is good. God has blessed me. And when I first found out I had it, uh, I'll be honest with you, I was bitter. I was bitter. I called myself trying to do the right thing. I didn't think I was that bad of a person. I was wondering why God did what he did and why I went through what I went through. But as I look back, I said, you know what? It could have been worse. If I didn't take care of myself, maybe I wouldn't be here. And I asked the doctor when we talked about the different stuff and all the different scenario, I said, what if I don't have this surgery? And he says, well, if you don't have this surgery, you won't be around very long. He told me just like that. I never was told I had stage 4 cancer, but I was told if I didn't have this surgery, I wasn't going to be around very long. And so we went ahead and scheduled it and got it done. And I'm blessed. I'm cancer free.
You know what's That's a lot. I remember seeing you, and you're a robust, strong guy. Always took care of yourself, man. Always, looked healthy. And you mentioned going to the gym and doing the things you needed to do. And it was an ordeal. You mentioned, the surgery, the chemo, the bags. I've got a friend here that has cancer here in Albuquerque, and he tells me about it all the time. But there was a spirit in you, a spiritual, you mentioned God, you mentioned that you're very spiritual, man, your wife, your daughter, your kids, your grandkids. There was a reason, that spirit in you, man. You've always been a fighter. And I remember you telling me when you lost in high school, you wouldn't even shake hands. You just jumped the fence and see you later. And that's the way it was. You hated to lose more. Do you like winning? You're still the same way. You're still the
Oh yeah.
same way. And you when things are, but talk about that spirit in you, and we'll get back to why you wanted to come coach again. Because you were gone, you were out for a year, and people might have said Coach Span's not coming back. But talk a little bit about that fighting spirit, and the support you had, spiritual support, and then your family support and the community support of Tucumcari. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I tell you what, and you talked about it when I was younger. It was when I was in a farm league, whenever we got beat. I had a hard time. When I beat you, I could shake your hand and smile. But if you beat me and you were smiling, I was swinging. And my grandmother put a stop to that. My grandmother told me, boy, if you ever act like that again, you won't play it again. My grandmother didn't play. So I know I had to straighten up that act. But talking about what I went through and the support and my family, oh, wow, and the community, you know, we talk about being a place for 40 years. I don't know. I mean, the support I have with the administrators that I have, I'm blessed. It's not just me. It's the people that I work for. They allow me to do my job. They believe in me. They support me. I have a lot of good friends that coach, and they're going different places every year or every other year for whatever reason. But I've been blessed, and I've had opportunities to go other places. But Tucumcari has been good to me. And when I got sick, man, I heard from people that I would have never thought I heard from. Not only from Tucumcari, from all over the state, other states. It's just, like I said, I would have never thought I'd heard from these people, and they reached out to me, and it really, really meant a lot to me and my family.
You mentioned the support, Tucumcari in the administration, but Coach, they're lucky to have you, man. 40 years, and look what you've done. You coach all three sports. You've taught PE, and now they've seen you go through what it could be the worst life experience for a lot of people, and you're still here, man. You're still here. They saw that. They saw Coach, lose the weight, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, man, I saw you last spring. I say, hey, look at you, baby. You're back, man. Look at you.
Yeah.
So they see that, a strength, inspiration for all the things you've done. Teacher of the year, coach baseball, play football, basketball. They refer to you, I remember reading articles, as Johnny Span back in the day. I remember reading that. So you've been there. You're a pillar of strength, man. Again, all the things that you've mentioned to anyway in sports. And now they see you, and it's a different inspiration, man. It's different. And that lifts up a lot of people. It does. As they see you, they say, that coach, man, we saw him about a year ago, didn't look good, and now look at him. He's back. He's back. That's got to inspire a lot of people. It has to.
Yeah, it's been a blessing. I've seen some people, and they said, man, if I hadn't known that you were sick, I would have never known it by looking at you now. And it's nothing but God. God got me through it. I mean, like I said, I went through some tough times, but my family and God and all the prayers, it was nothing but prayers that got me through it. I know that. And that's why I said, I'm blessed, and I don't take it for granted. I'm blessed to still be here because there's a lot of people that have gone on from what I went through, and God wasn't through writing my story. I'm still here.
Now, we'll talk more about your career at Tucumcari High School after these messages on the sports desk.
Goes to the basket, and Kincaid shuts it down. Amigos. Here it is. 3-ball. Nails it. Larissa Martinez. Ball's in his hand. He'll fire up another one. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Esteban Gonzalez. Navarez smells blood, going to go all the way, and he's going to the line for a chance at a three-point. And the three is Butler underneath, another block for Quesada, and then Session took it away. Ahead to Lujan in transition, lays it up and in with the left hand. A big steal and the three, Xavier. Knox gets it on the bounce. Here comes Morris. Morris driving, lobbing. Quesada starts to bust on the alley-oop.
does. St. Pius gets it in. Candelaria, can she run the clock out? Arndt with the steal. She shoots. It's in. Will it count?
Let it go.
Myers looks good. It's good! Espinosa with a three-quarter court three. 16-13.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Part of the show, we went over your amazing career at Tucumcari. You coached football, baseball, and basketball. You're in your 22nd year now with boys basketball. Would have been 23. We mentioned, your cancer diagnosis. You beat it. You're in remission. Back to being the strong, healthy guy you were. And you went through a lot. And I think it's important to tell people, your faith, your family. You recovered, and it wasn't easy. No one's going to ever say that something like that was easy. It was life-changing. You mentioned you had your doubts for a while, but I just kind of want you to kind of wrap it up for us, where you are now and how your health is, and how things are going for you, for Coach John Spann.
Well, you know what? Things are going great for me. I'm blessed. When I first got out of the hospital, I had to go get CT scan every 3 months. And now I don't do that. Now I go every 6 months. And I just had one a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks ago. And everything was good. And so everything's going well. I mean, God, it's amazing what I've gone through and where I'm at right now. I feel good. I'm very passionate about what I do. I've never lost that, never lost that. Whatever I do, I only know one way. It's either we're going to do it or we're not going to do it. We're not going to beat around the bush, or we're not going to halfway do it. We're going to do it or we're not going to do it. And that's just always been my deal. That's the way I approach stuff. And that's the way I continue to do it. And like I said, I'm blessed. Very blessed.
Yeah, you know what? This Tucumcari is blessed to have you, the public servant, what you've done for the school in several different capacities. Again, Teacher of the Year in 2003 and 2004. That's important because it's all encompassing. You coach baseball, football, and basketball, and the kids see you there as a pillar of strength there. The Rattlers we mentioned are 5-4. And Coach, you talked to me a little bit about you played Texaco twice, and you mentioned how good they are, and you played Logan. You're 5-4, and we mentioned you'll play Bosque Prep, coached by Clifton Davidson out of here, out of Albuquerque, at 5 p.m. on Saturday at Tucumcari. Tell us a little bit about your early schedule. And Coach, for people that don't know, Texaco, you mentioned, and Logan are darn good teams, man. And sometimes people, don't see those teams here in Albuquerque until the state tournament. Tell us a little bit about the Rattlers' early schedule.
Yeah, we play a tough schedule. People look at that and see those 4 losses, but I tell you what, 3 of those 4 losses, I think, Texaco and Logan, they're no joke. I mean, they can play with the big dogs and beat the big dogs. But yeah, we learned a lot of stuff from that. We saw some things that we need to work on, but Logan is a different matchup. We don't match up with them at all with their size, their thickness. They shoot the ball well. Coach does a great job with them, Coach Griffith, and so does Coach Cook with Texaco. Those guys are going to be definitely. Texaco is in our class, and they're probably right now they're playing at the best. They're the top team in our class, and Logan, I'm not sure where they're at, but Dale Melrose and Fort Sumner. I mean, every year they're tough, and they're in the same district, except for Melrose this year is not in that district, but they're one of the toughest districts in the state in 1A, and I don't like to play 1A schools because it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. Excuse my expression, but if you don't beat them, well, you guys can't even beat a 1A school, and if you beat them, well, they're only 1A. So I mean, it's one of those things where damn if you do, damn if you don't. But those are great programs, and they can play with any program at any level. They're that good.
Any level. And you mentioned Logan had 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". You mentioned how big they were.
Yes, they got a 6'6" and it's 6'4", 6'5". Those kids, they dunk. They just play so well together. I mean, they play well together. And I've had some teams that shot the ball well. And like I said, when we shot the ball well, we were tough to beat. I think in the record book, I think we have one of our teams in 2015, 16. We're in the record book. We're tied with 18 threes in a game, and I didn't play those starters the fourth quarter. And we didn't get off to a good start, but once we got going, I mean, we can put some points on the board real quick. And so, but yeah, but I've been blessed with some good teams. And you talk about me with Tucumcari and what I've done for Tucumcari. Tucumcari has been a blessing for me and my family. Tucumcari has been a blessing. They have supported me. I mean, I'm just blessed to be where I am. I am. And I've been blessed with great administrators who support me. They let me do my job. When things happen, they let me know what's going on, and they support me. They support me. You stay somewhere for that long. You're going to go through some ups and downs, and you're not going to make everybody happy about certain things that you have to do. But I pray about my decision, and whatever God puts on my heart is what I roll with. And those that like it, that's fine. And those who don't, that's fine too. And that's always kind of been my deal as I've gone. And what I try to be is fair, firm, and consistent with my kids, and that's what's gotten me through.
I think 40 years, you're right. I spent 30 years with the city, and, I served well. And I look back on it, I had to deal with a lot of politics, right? And I think I'm glad I'm gone. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's somebody else's turn. Turn. And right now, it's still your turn. And it's great to have that support. Because during 40 years, you're going to run into one administrator that's not with it, right? That's not with you. Because they've got their own ideas. They've got their own people, and it's not you. It's just they've got other ideas, and you're still there. So the fact that you said you've got their support still, you feel good about it. The end is a couple years away. You might stay for who knows how long, and they need you. They need that, man. They need that coach, that person that they look up to and is inspired by. Again, this you coming back from not coaching, and you were questioning whether you would return. You did question it for a minute, and then it's like, I'm not going out like that. That's vintage Coach John Spann. That heart. I'm not going out like that. There's no way, right? And it took a lot to come back. It did. You had to come back, get your health back. You're down to 135 pounds. You're back to where you're fighting weight, right? You're back to what you were. But it took work. It took desire. It took a lot of prayer. It took a lot of things, and there you are. and Tucumcari needs that. Talk a little bit about your roster. You got Luis Archuleta at 19.6. He leads the way. Talk a little bit about the Rattlers roster.
Yes, I have Julian Grego, who's a senior this year, who has been in our program, who has potential to average double digits for us. We have Damian Uroste, who is also, he's a junior, and he's one of our scorers who helps us out and does a great job running the show and stuff. And then I also start a freshman, Jeremy Jones, who has really come on. And, he's making a lot of young mistakes, but I mean, you're going to do that as a freshman playing up at the varsity level, but very hardworking young man. You can depend on, you don't have to worry about him not being in practice. We have Eric Acosta, who's a sophomore, who I also play quite a bit. He's learning, he's getting better. One thing I'll say about these guys that I play, they play hard. They play hard. And that's all I can ask for. I don't care when we're going into a game, what the situation or who we're playing. I know as long as we bring the practice to the game, we have a chance. Because when we're in practice, we work. We don't go through the motion. We practice like we play, like we want to play. So I don't worry about that. People say, well, dang, when you're going to do this or do that, are you worried about this? I'm not worried about who we're going to play. Because I pray to God to ask him to lead, God, and direct me. And then we just go from there. We go from there. And so I don't stress. I don't worry about stuff. People say, well, I don't understand how you're not worried about this. I don't, because I prayed about it already. I'm not going by myself.
You know what? If you think about it too, after what you've been through, man, hey, and you're here. You're still here. Yeah. What's going to do, right? Hey,
yeah.
So you did it, right? You've done it. You did it through. You mentioned prayer, desire, work. It's that heart. You've always had that huge heart, man. That competitive heart. Back in the day at Eastern, man, we used to play some. Yeah, man, we did. Yeah, we did. We did. Even in table tennis. I don't know if you remember. We would sit there and talk all kinds of mess, man. You would tell me you're going to.
We talk noise.
Oh man, you would tell me I'm going to walk you down.
That's a lot.
But that's what it was. So if again, you're not going to worry about it because this is the way you coached. And remember, played baseball, football, and basketball. You coach all three sports, which I don't know who's done that. Honest to God. Look, and there's great coaches throughout the state of New Mexico. And by the way, rest in peace to Buster Mabry, right? I don't want to forget him. Buster Mabry, what a great example. Rest in peace to Buster, and our condolences to Lori Mabry. So there's a lot of great coaches throughout the state. And I don't know, Coach, to be honest, who's coached all three sports like that. I know there's others. I know that. But I think that says a lot. And you can sit there and say, hey, this is the way I did it. Why would you? And I survived it. I survived a life-changing ordeal, man. You did, and you're here. What do you think the prospects are for the Rattlers the rest of the season? You've got Bosque, Cimarron, and then start your Pecos, Santa Rosa, Fort Sumner House under Brad Holland. Brad Holland, man, that dude's unsung, bro. Brad Holland's one heck of a coach. That's a guy I got to get on the show. A lot of respect for Coach Holland. Tell us what the prospects are for Tucumcari down the way.
Well, Brad Holland, he actually graduated from Tucumcari.
His dad,
his dad coached her. He was our head football coach, and then his dad coached a little bit of basketball. But Brad is awesome. Brad has that drive. He has a drive, and he gets it out of his kids. I don't know. I just for the district, we dropped down to 2A. We were 3A last year, so people say, "Oh, you're going to 2A. We should better do this." Our 2A district is just as tough as 3A district. I mean, you have Santa Rosa, you have Clayton, you have Pecos, you have Raton, you have Estancia. I mean, you better come to play every night. Better come ready to play every night. And you definitely got to take care of business at home. If you can get some wins on the road, that's great. But you got to take care of home and kind of see where you're at. But no, we're looking forward to the district. It's a good district. It's a tough district. And I love challenges. If you're doing stuff that's not challenging you, it's not going to change you.
Well, you took on the biggest life challenge of all and survived that. And you're still in Tucumcari. Coach, we got to wrap it up. Tucumcari boys basketball head coach John Spann. Coach, God bless you. Thanks so much for being our guest and sharing your story today with our viewers.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for having me.
We sure wish you the best of luck down the way. Good luck against Bosque Prep Saturday in Tucumcari.
Thank you. We're going to have our hands full.
I bet. For producer Alden Iwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.